On this day in February, I thought I would begin by telling you a golf story. There's hope. It's about Arnold Palmer playing a golf tournament in Saudi Arabia. And the story goes that the king was so impressed that he wanted to give Arnie a gift. And Arnie was reluctant to accept anything, but finally gave in and said, well, you know, a golf club as a memento of this would be wonderful. The next morning at his hotel, Arnie was delivered a title for a golf course, complete with clubhouse and acres of greens. Now, what a wonderful compensation. But I wonder this morning, as you and I look at our lives and our ways of operating, what is it that really motivates us? What is it that really drives us to action? Is it money? Now, I see some head shaking. No, I don't believe you. Of course, money is a drive in our lives and a motivator. What if you were to go to work tomorrow morning and they said, we're not going to pay you anymore? Would you come back the next day? Well, the truth of the matter is we do need money in our life. We've got bills to pay and we've got responsibilities to meet. But is money the primary motivator in your life? The philosopher Kierkegaard tells a story about a rich man who had a carriage, and he was making a journey by night. And that carriage moved very comfortably over the roadway, and it was very warm and secure inside and very well lighted inside. And behind the rich man was a poor man following, but in an open cart. And in that cart, he felt the bumpiness of the road, and he was chilly during the night. But the poor man with the open cart had the view of all of the stars in the heavens. And Kierkegaard says that money can have us live a very enclosed life, a very comfortable life that can have us be unaware of the vastness of God's love and goodness all around us. Is money the principal motivator in your life? Another one can be fear. We can do things in life because we're afraid if we don't. Now, sometimes fear is a very helpful thing. But if fear runs our life, it doesn't hold out for the long haul. There was a company owner that was looking at a map of all the sales territories. And on that map, there was a stick pin that represented each of the sales personnel. And the sales were plummeting. And that company owner said to people around him, maybe I should take the stick pins out of the map and insert them in the sales personnel. Well, that kind of a fear is not a good one. And it's not a helpful one. But it is a motivator. What about the desire to be recognized, to be appreciated? Well, that's a very good one. We all need that. It's one of the reasons when the team plays at home, on the home field or the home court, the results tend to be a little better because of all the people that are available to cheer the team on. That recognition and appreciation can be a wonderful motivator, but it's not always there. What about love? Love. Love is really the highest of the motivators, and the purest, and the most helpful. To do something out of love for other people. Those of you who are parents, if your child needed medical attention that was going to be very extensive and very expensive, wouldn't you do all in your power to make that possible? Exhausting your savings, selling the house, selling the car, taking on a second or even a third job. Would you do it? Of course. Why? Out of love. We have a saying, I wouldn't do that for love or money. That's only partially true. There are many things we would not do for money, but there are very few things we would refuse to do out of love. We look at St. Paul in today's second reading from the first letter to the Corinthians, and he tells us about what motivated him. He says, I preached the gospel free of charge. I became all things to all people in order to save at least some. And I did it for the sake of the gospel, that I might share in it. Why else would Paul have undergone that conversion in life and its consequences, where he would be shipwrecked and lonely and beaten and in prison and martyred, if it weren't for love? What is the major motivator in our lives? Is it love? I'll leave you with a fable this morning. It's about a little girl that was walking in the meadow, and she saw a beautiful butterfly that was impaled on a thorn. And she went over and carefully removed that butterfly from that thorn. And presto, the butterfly turned into a fairy princess. And the fairy princess says, and young lady, what can I do for you in return? What wish would you like me to grant you? And the little girl thought for a moment, and she said, I'd like to be happy every day of my life. And the fairy princess leaned over and whispered a secret in her ear. The townspeople noticed a change in her as the months and the years moved on. She was the happiest person in town, and people wondered what her secret was, and she said, it was something the fairy princess told me, but right now it's a secret. As the years went on, she was approaching death. She decided to reveal that secret, and she told them. I asked the fairy princess that my wish be granted, that I be happy every day of my life. And the fairy princess whispered me this secret, and it's this. Everybody needs you. No matter how secure somebody else appears, everybody needs you. And that's true. Lots of people appear like they've got it all together, that they don't have a need in the world, that they are absolutely self-sufficient. But it isn't true. Everybody needs somebody, and there is somebody that needs what you alone can offer, to be given out of love. What is it that motivates you in your life? There can be a host of things, but what's at the top of the list? Is it love? Because love of God, love of others, ensures that we live happy and meaningful and fulfilling lives here with the promise of eternal happiness in the kingdom of heaven. Love is the greatest motivator of all.